trying something new here, so shut up. Yeah, I know it's been a while. Also, shut up. I had like this absolutely outrageous claim that I was going to release a new Monroe song every single month in the year of 2023, which is, 12 songs, because the music industry at the moment is such a mess. You need to release singles all the time. It's kind of like being a YouTuber now. Music has now been affected by your incredibly short attention spans. So we need to keep making new music and doing stupid little dances on TikTok to get you to pay attention. So expect to see Monroe on TikTok out of necessity. So yeah, been doing that. I've been trying to put out more music than I've ever put out before, alone, at the highest quality that I've ever done. So that's where I've been. But that's not why you're here. No, we're here to talk about what the hell the Matrix is and why the hell everyone keeps talking about it, mainly straight white males. That one's for you, modern audiences. Logan Paul seems to think it's consequences for his actions. Andrew Tate also seems to think it is consequences for his actions. But is it really so simple? Are they really trying to use this sci-fi phrase with quite a recognizable construct behind it? We're all pretty familiar with what the Matrix is as far as a movie franchise is concerned, but how exactly does the Matrix apply to the real world? And I'm kind of glad that douchebags like Andrew Tate and Logan Paul are using the word Matrix, because, to be perfectly honest, I think it describes perfectly exactly what it is that we're dealing with here. It perfectly describes the world we live in and the fact that we can't escape it. But why would you? Why would you want to escape it? It's got central heating, it's got Wi-Fi and Starbucks and various other creature comforts that we've all come to enjoy. But let's just talk about what the Matrix is for just 1 second, shall we? We are born into this world, and it's not free. It wasn't free to be born. It's not free to live. And as much as you want to say that, well, I could go and live for free anytime I like, no, you can't. Ultimately, it's not free. And I'm not talking in terms of money or anything like that. I'm talking in terms of things you have to sacrifice. For example, internet, the benefits of on-the-grid electricity. Almost every single square inch of land is owned by somebody. We can't just go live in the woods, because chances are somebody owns those woods, and if they find you in there, you will be sued or prosecuted or literally anything but shot. Probably shot, who knows. So let's say, for example, you're of age, right? You're 18 and you've got a place and you've got a job and you're paying for the place by going to the job. You use the job to pay for things like Starbucks, and for the most part, these comforts are enough to blind you to the very real fact that you can't go any higher than that or any lower than that. Let's explore lower than that, shall we? Let's just say you don't want to work. You don't feel like it anymore. Your boss is a jerk. Screw him. I'm not going to go to work. I'm not putting up with that anymore. I'm just going to stay at home, put my feet up, play video games all day, and eat chips. How long do you reckon you could do that for before you're thrown out on the street? Because now you have no money. And this is exactly the root of a lot of my mental breakdowns in my early 20s. You can't just stop going to work because it's hard. I mean, for example, you could never get a job, never have these luxuries like phones and PlayStation 5s and fast internet and gaming PCs and all this other crap like a nice car or motorbikes or whatever, right? You can go your whole life without ever having that. And then when you become of age, you can just go on welfare. Other people's taxes pay for your way of life. Not really much of a way of life, but it's a way of life. Some people really do appreciate the freedom. To some people, the freedom is worth more than going to work. So you actually can't go any lower. Sure, there's homelessness, but people don't really choose homelessness. They never really see that as freedom, do they? In fact, you could say that the homeless are a product of the Matrix, victims of it. So you can't stop working. You can't just decide, this is too hard, I'm just gonna stay home and do whatever the hell I want. Doesn't work like that. Not without a great deal of sacrifice. So if you want to maintain that way of life, that very comfortable Goldilocks state of living, right? It's not too cold, it's not too hot, it's just right. Sure, you could do with more. Who needs it? Let's say you wanted more than that, right? And here we have another problem, going up the ladder. And some people would see that as being promoted. You make more money, right? Being promoted. See, usually being promoted a lot of the time, not all of the time, but a lot of the time, involves more work, more responsibilities. Sure, you get more money. You have no time to spend the money that you make. That was another breakdown that I had in my early 20s. I was working all the time. I had some decent savings, no time to spend. And you in America have been absolutely screwed. From what I understand, you guys get 2 weeks. You get 2 weeks paid vacation a year. 2 weeks. We get about 4 here in the UK. Probably less than that if the Tories have their way with it. You know how they like to screw the working class to the wall and then have the working class continue to vote for them? So maybe a promotion's not the way to go. In fact, maybe the job you have doesn't have a promotion, right? Maybe it's entry level. maybe there's not really much further you can go. Let's say you want to get into something specialized, right? You want to be, I don't know, an engineer, fancy engineer that creates fancy things for fancy people. Well, then you need to get an education. Sounds easy enough. You go to a place, you read some books, the place gives you a piece of paper for reading the books, you go out into the world with this knowledge, and now you can be better than everybody else. That's such an easy way to get out of the rat race, right? Make sure you never ever get stuck in that rut of comfortability. Oh, that's right, yeah. Education costs a lot of money. Oh, you want something better in this world. You want something nicer. You want to do better. You want to be somebody. You want to have more time to spend money. You want to have a little bit of freedom, financial freedom. Give us money. Welcome to the Matrix. Some people do go into this, right? Some people have nepotism and all that kind of stuff. Some people have very rich parents, which is not a bad thing. Why should people feel bad for doing well, providing for their children? That's what we all do to the best of our ability. Just so happens that rich parents can do it way better than everyone else can. So then you're stuck with a basic education, public school systems. And here we have another branch of the Matrix. What exactly do schools teach you? Money management? Do they teach you how to run your own business? Do they allow you to cut out subjects that, quite frankly, are obsolete these days? Like math, for example, and instead at an early age get to choose more tailored subjects, things you're actually interested in, things you could instead focus all of your time in. So instead of having an hour to do art and then going off to do maths, even though you don't care about math, and then an hour of literature and you don't care about English literature, and then physical education, you don't care about physical education, you care about art, that's what you want to do. But instead, your time is forcibly removed from the thing you actually want to do. And not only that, you're also then forced to believe that these other things that you don't want to do are far more important than the thing that you actually want to do. Even though it's definitely on the curriculum, it somehow has some importance to be in the school system. It's there. No, schools teach you to be a good worker. They give you a wide range of mediocre skills, forced to learn things that you didn't want to learn, but that's because they're not trying to make someone who's exceptional. They're not trying to create individuals who are free thinkers, people who consistently think outside the box, people who disrupt the system or the matrix. They're trying to make people who all have the same base knowledge so that when they're released into the world, they have no idea how to be anything better than someone who sits in front of a computer and does the bare minimum and earns the bare minimum to do the bare minimum. Because you see, the Matrix, much like the Matrix in the movie, is run by something that we're not really aware of. But the majority of people work for somebody else. And then those other people work for other people. And then those other people work for other people. It just keeps going up. And then there's someone at the very, very top. And why would that person at the very, very top, who has loads of money, which as we all know, gives you remarkable power in this world, to the point where you can even purchase one of the world's most central social medias of communication, Twitter. A rich dude just bought it. A singular dude had enough money to buy Twitter. Isn't that crazy? Money did that. Elon Musk is not particularly smart or charismatic. He's not some walking, talking, real-life Iron Man. He's just a dude with a lot of money and that smug arrogance that seems to come with money. So the Matrix is the system that's been put in place to make sure that everybody remains subservient, happy to be subservient, and making them incapable of escaping their subservience. You want to do better? Can't afford it. Perhaps the job you're doing doesn't even have it. Want to go down? Want to escape? Can't do it. You lose your house, you lose your internet, you lose your stability, you lose everything. And now you're in control of heating yourself, putting the lights on, making your own food. There's no stores for this. And if you want to escape taxes, then you have to make sure that you're not making any money. So you have to do everything 100% yourself. Very, very few people do this and live to tell the tale. Now, when people talk about escaping the Matrix, specifically Andrew Tate, because we all know he talks a lot about the Matrix and getting out of it, you're being talked at by someone who, to a degree, has escaped the Matrix. I don't work for anyone. I don't get up at a certain time to go work for some asshole to get paid a very predictable amount of money that can buy me a very predictable amount of things, have the weekends off. You know how the Matrix works, right? Now, what they mean by escaping the Matrix is escaping the rat race, essentially. It's being able to earn more money if you want to work harder, being able to earn money when you don't want to work, and the work that you're doing you actually enjoy. So it doesn't really feel like work. If everybody did that, the world would collapse. Because who the hell would want to work for anyone else, right? You have to have some subservience in order for society to work. Someone has to give up the American dream in order to be ruled by another person, in order to be ordered by another person. Do the thing. Ship the stuff. Make the thing. So in order to make sure that only a few people can escape the Matrix and actually live the kind of life that humans always dreamed of living, then you need to make sure that the majority of the human cattle that comprise the houses and streets of most modern cities are only equipped just enough in order to work for you, and don't want to do anything to rock the boat and can't do anything to get out of their situation. Now, what Logan Paul and Andrew Tate are talking about when it says the Matrix is attacking them, what they're saying is that not everyone is allowed to escape the Matrix. You are being punished if you do try to escape it, if you do become a multi-billion trillionaire for unchecked reasons, if you do get to drive your favorite colored Bugatti in various different countries or sell a product that sucks, but people buy it. You can complain about it if you want, but, people buy it. If it makes money, why wouldn't you do it? It's weird to think that some people have this expectation that people who are out there to escape the Matrix and make a lot of money somehow also have to abide by these certain set of arbitrary rules, usually revolving around, altruism or integrity, things that you have been told are things you need to uphold in your life. Though if you look at almost every single rich person on the planet, they're all reprehensible by the average person's standards, right? They've done things that we couldn't possibly comprehend the reasons why they would do it, and then we attack them for it. Hence, complaining about the Matrix, being attacked by the Matrix. Because a lot of people don't realize that in order to get that kind of rich, in order to get that kind of freedom, actual real freedom, not that fake American freedom that they like to use for marketing. I'm talking actual freedom. If you don't want to work, you don't have to work. And you don't have to lose money for not working. You can just not work for months and just go traveling. Take photos of giant statues, because the world is filled with giant statues and people are taking photos of them all the time. So instead of sacrificing your 2 weeks paid vacation every single year just to go take photos of statues, you can just do whatever you want for as long as you want and lose no money doing it. In order to achieve that level of escape, you have to be reprehensible in the eyes of other people. It doesn't even have to go that far, right? Sometimes to achieve any kind of freedom, you need to cut people or things out of your life that are going to make you look pretty bad, and they will attack you for it. Because how dare you? How dare you try and reclaim your smile? You need to be a good person. You need to be virtuous to a level that nobody upholds. Personally, you uphold other people to these virtues, but not yourself. The spotlight's not on you. So that's what the Matrix is. That's how it operates, right? You can't earn more than what you have. You can't earn less than what you have, and you can't do either one of those things without learning a great deal on either how to survive or how to get better at your craft, both of which take a lot of money. Like, for example, if I wanted to live in the middle of nowhere here in the UK, I'd have to buy that land. I can't just leave this house, walk out into the woods, make a fire, and kill rabbits for the rest of my life. Not how it works. Someone owns those rabbits, someone owns those trees, and the fire in the middle of the woods is a fire hazard. I'll be prosecuted, arrested, fined, all of that. No, the only way I can do that here in the UK and most parts of Europe is that if you buy the land, that you will then go and live as a recluse, burning firewood and eating rabbits forever, which is not really a way of living, to be perfectly honest. It's surviving, right? It's not dying. It's not dying. You are alive, but are you living? And if you want to do better, if you want to earn more, then usually, sometimes that comes with more responsibility and less time, right? More money, less time. And sometimes you have to pay a ridiculous amount of money, take even more of your time to go and learn a skill, which then can be applied. Maybe, you could be self-employed, but self-employment still comes with a great deal of time taken away from you. And this is why there's been such a massive focus on social media, because social media is the easiest and most accessible way to escape the Matrix, right? You make content, which is fun, can be fun. People watch it, you get paid, fantastic. If you don't want to make content, then the content you've already made still gets views, which still earns you money. Or you could just go on Instagram and be like, hey, buy my crappy t-shirt. You just made money that day, even though you're not actually working. So that's what the Matrix is. And if you don't think the Matrix actually attacks people for wanting to do better, to be better, cut some unnecessary toxicity out of their lives, then go on Twitter for like 20 minutes. Someone could be like, man, I'm feeling good today. I earned something, I did something, I bettered myself as a human being. And then someone without an ounce of irony will be like, well, no, you can't say this. This is offensive to people who aren't happy and are incapable of earning things. I'm now going to attack you for this. And weirdly, I have a vast mob of idiots who all think the same way. Somehow. Now, I'm incredibly hungover, extremely tired, and very, very hot. I did no research going into this video. I just sat here and started talking. It's the kind of content people say that they miss me doing, but it's just not that interesting. So you can believe the Matrix is real or not. I've seen people making fun of the very idea that there is a Matrix, and to those people I say, ha, whether it was called the Matrix or poo poo pee pee caca. Fact is that the construct exists. It's not something to be made fun of. It's definitely there. And you can definitely laugh at the statement like, I'm being attacked by the Matrix, when people are literally just suffering consequences for things. If that terminology makes you laugh, makes you giggle, then, you know, try calling it something else that makes you angry, you know? Call it the patriarchy. Ooh, straight white men. There's your Matrix. But you can call it whatever you want until you stop laughing at it. Because it's definitely real and you're in it. And like I said, this is exactly why I had so many mental breakdowns in my early 20s, is I came to this realization very, very quickly. Most people work jobs they can't escape. They can't go up in it, and they can't get out of it. Because if you get out of it, you can't pay rent, you're homeless. You can't go up on it because, you know, a lot of jobs don't have promotions. A lot of companies aren't looking to promote. They usually just hire that position. Because if you're a good worker, you're a good worker. Why would they want you not doing that work, right? They would just want you doing that job forever. Because then they'd have to replace what you were doing with somebody else who might not be as good. So they usually just keep everyone at the lowest level, doing the lowest level, and then hiring management from somewhere else. And as I mentioned, if I wasn't so hungover and extremely tired, then maybe I would have made this a little more coherent. You know, maybe I would have offered more examples, talked more about Andrew Tate, because, you know, buzzwords and SEO and all that kind of happy fun stuff that makes escaping the Matrix a matrix of its own, in the same sense that, you know, the government that proceeds over Zion is also a matrix. It's not really the same thing, but it is a construct that needs to be adhered to, or get the F out. Anyway, see you next time. Bye.